Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Jeremy, founder of quickmail.io.
Hey, and this is Jack, Chief Lead Generation Officer at salesbread.com. Before we get any further, big shout out. It's Jeremy's birthday. So happy birthday, my friend. What are we going to be podcasting about today?
A growth chat. It's been a long time since we haven't done any growth chat. The idea is basically today we've been hired by HubSpot. Not really, but we're pretending here. And we're in charge of growing their partner program. So we're going to have to do some outbound, write a kick-ass email for increasing their partner program, right? Getting more company on board.
Okay, so before we do some screen sharing, and I want to get into how we'd build this list, and then we're going to talk more about how to write this first email. I have to do my little pitch here. So most B2B companies lack the time and expertise to turn cold prospects into qualified leads. At SalesBread, we bring you one lead or appointment per day using ultra personalized LinkedIn messages and cold emails so you can fill your pipeline and grow your business. Now, let's get into it. Booyah. So I'm going to share a screen here. This is what we're talking about when we say partner program. Okay, so it's the app partner program. And essentially, if they get more developers to create apps and list them in HubSpot's marketplace, then that's a very good thing for HubSpot because they can reach more businesses through users, etc. Jeremy, did I explain that correctly?
A good example would be they may want QuickMail to integrate natively with HubSpot because that increases their sort of ecosystem. And if everyone is integrating with HubSpot, then they become the de facto solution, the go-to solution. And so we need to get more company on board and integrate with HubSpot, natively. That's our job, Jack.
Right. Okay, cool. So they've listed a couple examples. A screenshot of the marketplace has Gmail and Outlook and Zapier. So my first question here has to do with list. You always build a list first. So what kinds of app developers do we care about for this campaign? Should we focus on a segment within the business apps? What do you think?
Yeah, that's a good question. I would look at the existing, the one who actually got traction. Maybe the partners who integrated automatically without asking, HubSpot, or without having HubSpot having to ask them. So, like you mentioned, what are the current one existing? Are they all in a certain category? Maybe it's email marketing, maybe it's sales,
analytics.
Sales tool. Yeah, exactly. Analytics, those sort of things. It'd be good to figure out like what the use case and then go on a vertical, basically pick up a vertical.
Okay, so it sounds like if we go to the marketplace, that may be a good place to begin. So if I type in HubSpot marketplace, let's see. This is probably what we're looking at here. Okay, so we have marketing, sales, startups, agencies. Here we go.
Chances are that, Gmail, they probably HubSpot integrated themselves. But hey, you look at Hotjar, it's very unlikely that HubSpot actually did the Hotjar API. But
true. So, okay, so CMS apps and integration, they gave it their own category. So since we're
it looks like a big mismatch of lots of things, but one thing that is in common is they're like super hot startups, and maybe that gives them more visibility as well. Like Vistia is well known, those sort of things are well known. So maybe we could just go at the top existing app already, seeing which one we don't own.
Popular apps.
Yeah,
something like this.
What campaign would you go after? Like, hey, why are you not on HubSpot kind of thing? Like, or do you have your clients, using HubSpot, and would your client benefit from native one? Would like to help you, integrate your app? Like, is there anything stopping you from integrating with us?
Good point.
What type of campaign would you go for?
We could almost say the other apps in your space are listed, including X and Y. We think you'd be a great addition. So I'm having an easier time if we can just nail down, like, let's say live chat. It looks like there's quite a few live chat apps that are already on the marketplace. Nice. It could be that there's too many of them, but for this purpose, what do you think if we just got a little bit more focused and said, okay, let's find live chat apps that are not on the marketplace and then craft them in this email that's going to get their developers on board with this HubSpot ecosystem.
Love it. One other thing is, we're big on, authority and social proof kind of thing. We obviously, as the owner in HubSpot, we're able to know how many people actually use this app. So maybe we could actually get some stats for Intercom, for example, Intercom, since they integrated with HubSpot, there is X number of users already, using this integration, because that will give a bit more credit and
4,000 installs.
Oh, there you go. They got the installs already.
Okay.
Because as a business owner, is like, is that worth? That will be my biggest question. Like, do I need to integrate with them? Like, is that worth?
Right. Would that really make a difference here? Okay, cool. So
one thing that bothers me is that there's only 9 ratings, 4,000 installed, just 9 ratings. Maybe there's something here they could do. Like, we want to give you more visibility. So that's lacking. And look, only 2 stars. Like, this is bad. Yeah, I'll use something
maybe
else.
maybe that means there's an opportunity. I mean, if you're an Intercom competitor, hey, we're looking for another live chat provider, because even though Intercom got 4,000 downloads, they don't have the satisfaction we're looking for.
That's mean. But
it's mean and maybe effective. And let's see. So here's step 2 of list building here. I'm at g2.com in order to find, and I've just asked it to show me live chat software. So Intercom is number 1, but it's going to go ahead and spit out, let's see how many here. 300 if I don't narrow down by segment. So we probably
and
have
everyone knows Intercom, so it's a great reference. People should know HubSpot. People should know Intercom. That's good stuff.
Okay, cool. So let's see where we're at here, and this may be close to starting the writing process here. The only thing we're missing, if I'm not mistaken, Jeremy, maybe some stats, but we still need the job titles that should see this message. So you're a technical founder here. Who do you think would care most about this decision and would also be able to make it happen at, let's say, a company like FreshChat?
That's a great idea. It could be the product manager. It could be the CEO, depending on the size, most likely.
Marketing? What do you think, marketing?
I'm not sure of marketing too much, because really marketing will probably be involved in announcing the stuff and preparing and so on, but I don't think they will be the one kicking the initiative. I think I feel it either needs to come from the CEO as a top or from the product product manager, like making sure, because the company will need to verify if there is an interest. Like, are your user mostly using HubSpot?
Right.
And you're right. Using Intercom and saying like they've been they've been integrating with us and so on should actually give a little bit more proof.
All right, cool. So I think we're at a starting point. And just by the way, the step that we're not going to show would be scraping. So really you need to do a couple of steps to arrive at the CEO/product managers here. And what I would be doing is using a scraper to visit each of these 372 live chat tools. When the tool page pops up, there's going to be a website link that can be scraped. I would be grabbing that for all of them, then find those companies' LinkedIn IDs and use those IDs to then build like a sales nav URL where I just plug in those IDs for the right companies and then CEO/founder/product manager. And then we'd have our list. We need their emails, of course, but
the other approach, which I do, is just hire you, right?
Yeah, there you go. Salesbread.com/contact if you want to find out what's working. I share freely on these little 15-minute brainstorm sessions. Thanks to Jeremy. Okay,
cool.
Let's do this. What do you say we start writing then?
Yeah, that's right. I think we got a few things here. I got the feeling we still need to sort of zero in on the messaging, like what the result we're trying to get. Yeah.
What's the approach? Okay. So I'm fine if we start like taking some notes down, because I'm sure we'll start putting messages together. So if you want to share your screen.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we know the audience, right, Jeremy? My question to you is, what is the ask? I always like to start with the ask first.
Yeah, which depends on, I guess, or maybe we could do in reverse. Like our goal is to have commitment from companies to put, oh, maybe we could do like a small, foot in the door. So our goal is to have the commitment from company that they will put it on their roadmap.
Okay.
And maybe have a point of contact as to who do we actually need to see that with, right?
Okay. Okay. So I like that. So A, get a commitment on the roadmap. B, find out the right contact to discuss this with.
Yeah, exactly. And what do you think of C as a discovery to figure out, is there any roadblock or what are the most biggest concerns so we can improve on future campaigns?
Good point.
Because we're going to change verticals and it's likely that it's going to be the same roadblocks. Maybe, oh, I'm afraid it's going to take too much time. And then after that, we'll address those objections beforehand in either follow-ups or in our main email if we find this is the only objection that people have.
So this is my thoughts. If we want to find out if there's roadblocks or really just gets a lot of feedback up front so that the future campaigns are even better,
yeah,
I may try and take this person to a phone call as soon as possible, even if the CTA is not, can you put this on your roadmap? It may be, I'd like to find out more about the integrations that you have, and if this is a good fit, can we talk? That way, it's going to be a lot easier to get some feedback on what are the challenges, what can we do to improve this message and better understand these CEOs and product managers.
All right, so after 10 minutes, this is what we obtained. Bear in mind that this is still a bronze version, but I think Jack and I are pretty happy with what we got. What do we got, Jack?
Yeah, so let's read the bronze version. Subject, supporting HubSpot in Q3, question mark. Name, do you have any company users asking for a HubSpot CRM integration? I'm asking because Drift saw 300% more signups 1 week after integrating with us, and I'm sure we can come up with a way to get even more trials for your live chat tool. Will that make sense to have a discussion? And then we got a custom PS placeholder where we'll say something nice about the individual or maybe the company to add some personalization here. Okay, so we've mentioned a couple of things before we broke for the writing session here, and we decided that they would make great points for the follow-ups. Jeremy, can you think of one of those points that we can just drop in here for the outline, even though we're not going to write that out?
Damn, I forgot. I got the memory of a goldfish.
No problem. Okay, so
you cover me back. I can cover my back.
Yeah, one of them mentioned that we've got an engineer that can help the integration.
Yeah, the follow-up, you probably want to think of all the objections that may come as like, oh, I got no time. Well, guess what? Our integration, Drift managed to integrate, within a week.
Yeah.
Some stuff like
perfect.
that. Or
so
I don't have the resources for that.
Take a week.
Yeah, exactly.
Integration takes less than a week.
Those
with the help
would be
of
great
our in-house engineer. Exactly. Less than a week with the help of our in-house engineer.
Yep. I may also, instead of doing a breakup email, I may actually go for the thing like, look, this quarter we're looking for, whatever is your number, like 200 apps or 80 apps or whatever. So we really want to push. So this quarter is the one to go, and then do it straight away, because then you will benefit from all our marketing push as well, or some stuff like that.
Yeah. So what do you think of this, Jeremy? So for another follow-up, mentioning that it can improve their customer success or customer experience.
Yeah.
And then you can back that up with a stat that's like your live chat is used by marketers and 80% of marketers are using some level of HubSpot tools.
Yeah, I guess the point here is that all the advantage, all the objection handling could always come into follow-up. Then that makes for very easy follow-up, much better than bump email, like just wanted to check if you ignored my email in the first time.
Yep. Nailed it. Okay, cool. So would you add or subtract anything from this bronze version? What do you think is the most compelling part of this email, Jeremy? What do you think is the weakest?
Well, if Drift is my competitor, I'm going to say like, holy hell, I want to know, because if something, managed to boost their sign up by so much
Yeah,
and there is a chance that we're going to get more signups, I'm like, man, I'm in, straight away. I want to have a
true.
discussion and then see stuff. Definitely. That's
Now,
going to be very
okay.
appealing for me.
And where do you think we dropped the ball on this, 10 minutes or so writing session? What did we not include here that could have helped our angle, our pitch?
I think I want to hear you on this one because I'm pretty happy
So,
with what we got.
yeah, I'm just a little bit wary of the stats here. Just because we kind of grab them out of thin air because we don't have enough time to do proper research. I'm worried that we're not going to have the best stat to share with these people. I mean, more signups, you mentioned already that's really helpful, but I'm thinking if I had more time, I would like to see what other stats I could drum up for this. But
That's a
yeah,
fair
assuming
point.
that's true. Yeah.
And bear in mind as well, not you, but the listeners, that the benefit will depend on who you're contacting. If you're contacting the product manager, he may be more worried about certain things or more looking towards certain other things. Because at the end of the day, if this is a product manager that takes a decision, you want to make him look good, right, for his own boss.
Right.
Otherwise, he's not going to stick your neck for you. So you may need more conviction
Yeah.
than
It
the CEO.
it could even be, Jeremy, that we added one small thing here that's like showing that this drift stat is not an anomaly. I would like to say that on average, tools that integrate with HubSpot see a 30 X return after their first year, just for the number of signups they get just from our ecosystem. That way, we're taking more and more of the risk out of the equation. But
Love it.
other
And
than that, yeah.
maybe another
Go
thing
ahead.
that I would want to experiment, especially if this actually flop, would probably be
Yeah.
to ask, who do you think is the best person to talk about this sort of thing at your company?
Yeah.
Because it could be that we got the wrong person. And that's just my take. That's who I will be targeting. But it could be that this is not correct. And I probably will do a sort of re-engaging campaign or use that later on in the follow-ups. Like, I tried all those things, but it seems like I got cricket, and it's not quite normal. It's like those things should be appealing. So maybe I'm missing the point here. Maybe I'm not addressing the real concern. And I
Yeah.
did that actually with I think you remember the recruiter campaigns that I had.
Yeah.
At some point I didn't
Mhm.
have some stuff, so I say like, just like, hey, help me here. Usually this is super appealing. Is there any reason why it's not appealing to you? And then people actually do tell you. It's really cool when you're
Yeah.
a little bit opening a bit of vulnerability here.
Yeah. I like that. I'll add, if you want to find out who the right person to talk to is, and this is usually the case if you are going after an individual that has a role that is not public. So, for example, we may be reaching out to product managers, but if the company reaches a certain size, that product manager may actually not be in charge of integrations. It could be there could be an integration manager if the company is large enough. There could be a developer whose sole responsibility is to integrate. So instead of writing like who's the right person to talk to, what I've been doing is saying like, I know you handle all things product management, but do you actually look into integrations as well? If not, who typically takes that? That way you're showing them, what they do. You're just not clear if this is something they do as well. Okay, so good notes. I think this is pretty much ready to start getting some feedback on, especially if you take advantage of this custom PS below to show people that you took a lot of time to send them this message. It was intentional that they received it, not just every other live chat tool. And yeah, it gets the stamp of the go ahead from me.
There you go. So if you're HubSpot and you want to hire us, I'm not for hiring. Maybe you are,
Neither am
Jack.
I. I don't think so.
But
I don't think so.
yeah,
But
free to use. Go for it, guys. Repeat and copy it, change it.
That's right. Go crazy with it. And if you like it that much, you may want to check out course.quickmail.io, where we have saved all of our cold email hacks and trick strategies, writing examples and teardowns that we don't share on the podcast. So there's a treasure trove for the right person who's looking for a little bit more. So course.quickmail.io will take you there. Jeremy, happy birthday. Great podcast.
Great cast. Thanks, Jack.